But like you said, it's funny how when it's time to stop these kind of things happening, people have got a voice. People can ban people from playing in the World Cup, ban players from playing for their national teams and that. But I'm sorry, but when it's time to stop racism and act on racism, no one's really got a voice like that. It's just certain players that speak up and speak out.
When are you gonna get me these type of clothes, Mehdi, man? You're gonna bring me in?
No, it's there, fam, man. This, the GOAT, you get me, the GOAT. Big him up. It's got brand new things coming out, like it's launching in a couple of weeks. But yeah, man, I got you. Don't worry about that, man.
James, when are you gonna get me some clothes, man?
I've got a match later on. I'm in Champions League. I'm in Super League as well. So, you can get these clothes.
Super League. Tell us about Super League, my guy.
I don't know too much about it, but I know that there was a big uproar about the Super League, but I don't know too much in terms of how things were ran, but I know that everyone's not in it no more.
Yeah, so basically what it was they wanted to form a new Super League, best clubs in Europe, more or less, and apparently clubs signed the contracts and it was a done deal. But when it got publicly announced, the people, the fans of football, the powers that be, they didn't want it to happen. You know what I mean? And it was a big deal. So a lot of clubs have pulled out. For me, I feel like, and I know people ain't gonna take it well, but on the football side of things, I feel like, yeah, it's not great for football. It will put a dent in our sport. It will put a dent in Premier League, Champions League. Do you know what I mean? It will lose its authenticity. You get what I'm saying? But on the business side of things, I do understand why they wanted to do that. It makes sense. UEFA have been running things for long time now, and it's about time they have some sort of competition. You know what I mean? It's in business. Coca-Cola, the competition was Pepsi. You know what I mean? Nike competition, Adidas. So UEFA, it's about time someone came up and said, "Oh, no, you know what? Challenged." You know what I mean? Challenged them, and threw money at it. Do you know what I mean? Back to with their business. So I get why on the business side of things, why they wanted to do it, innit? But it's just funny how everybody got involved and done everything they can to stop it from happening. Don't you find it funny?
When it's your pocket, it's mad, isn't it?
It's crazy because going back on it, I was thinking, what the hell is this? Because I don't even know from last week really, and I see it on TV, and I was thinking, the first person I heard speak about it was Gary Neville, and he had he done one emotional chat about it after, I can't remember what game it was, but he was just going in on it, and it was crazy. Like you said, just goes to show you never know what's happening behind closed doors. But touching on that, the GOAT, Arsene Wenger, he spoke about this a couple years ago, that they was planning something like this, and people didn't really take any notice of it. But like you said, it's funny how when it's time to stop these kind of things happening, people have got a voice. People can ban people from playing in the World Cup, ban players from playing for their national teams and that. But I'm sorry, but when it's time to stop racism and act on racism, no one's really got a voice like that. It's just certain players that speak up and speak out.
It's crazy because even Carlton Cole put out a post about it, and credit to him for bringing it out. I'm gonna get the post up and and tell you guys what it says. Look at this. So it's a long post, so I'll just read through it quickly. A lot of people asking me about the Super League and my thoughts. Get it up in it. Get up the post. Of course, I'm surprised and shocked and confused by the whole thing, and stand with our fans. But I'm extremely disappointed at the same time. Disappointed that there isn't this much energy towards racial abuse in the game. No joint statements from governing bodies, no threats to ban countries from competitions, no players been banned from the World Cup or European Championships. As soon as it's a financial implication, the consequences are different. That to me is a more pressing issue. Now everyone is encouraging players to forfeit playing in the leagues and risk being sacked. But when it's racial issue, it would put the club in a compromising position. We can't have it both ways, and it's unfair on the players. But like I said, I stand with the fans, as always, and root for the underdog. But until the equality for human beings is priority, equality for football clubs is a secondary concern.
I respect that. I rate that. Thank you for speaking out.
That's big. It's the same with Patrick Bamford as well. After a game for Leeds, he came out and said, it's crazy when it's about people's pockets, but when it comes to racism, no one wants to speak on it.
Why don't you feel? Why do you feel like they don't tackle or put this energy towards racism? They don't put the same energy towards it.
I think it's become a normality. It's become normal to be racist, and that's the biggest thing for me. I don't think that there's enough being done to tackle it. I feel like they feel like it's a racial situation happens and it will just blow over.
Yeah.
The next one will happen, will blow over again.
Like you said, sorry to cut you off, James. Like you said, it's all about the financial side of stuff. I'll bet you any money now. You know how this uproar is going on because of it's all about money, people stopping their club from getting money. If you was to say, if a player's racist, regardless who it is, the club's getting fined 500 bags or 250 bags, I'll bet you any money, bro, you put a stop to a lot of things. I'm not saying it's going to put a stop to racism, but it's either way they're talking about players not playing for their country and all these things, representing their country and getting fined in the World Cup. I'm telling you now, if you're a member of your team's racist, 250 bags, 300, I'll bet you it will stop a lot of that.
I believe you, Mehdi. I agree with you. You know what I mean? I just feel like this energy they're showing towards this Super League thing, it's just heightened the lack of effort that they're putting towards tackling racism in football, and it's been a crazy year regarding that. You know what I mean? With the whole Black Lives Matter movement taking the knee. You know what I mean? You had Wolf as a Hawk come out not too long ago saying that he's not taking the knee anymore. It's not doing anything. You know what I mean? And even that, I know it started off as a good gesture and that, but what's your last thoughts on taking the knee? Do you think it helped anything, or
It didn't do nothing.
you don't think it did anything?
It didn't do anything. It was good for the media and to make it look like something's happening, but in the longevity of how things panned out, nothing really happened. Like my good friend Glenn, he got racial abuse in a Europa League game, and the person that was racist towards him got a 10-game ban, and Glenn got 2-game ban, and he's the victim of being racially abused. So the Black Lives Matter movement, it was just, for me, it's like a publicity stunt. Like, okay, make it look like we're doing something, but in terms of making a change towards the game, it didn't do anything.
I even feel like to a certain extent it got racist people angry, and if you look at the time between this Black Lives Matter movement taking the knee and now where we're at now, more and more players have been getting racially abused. Like
It's made them more come out.
Yeah, it's made them come out more. It's like they're even more angry about why you lot supporting this movement, like, and now the racist people that are coming out more, why ain't they stopping it? Do you know what I mean? To the point where clubs, players are now boycotting social media. You know what I mean?
Thierry Henry, I saw that one.
Yeah, Thierry Henry and even the other day.
I just don't. That don't make sense to me. That one there. I don't know. You lot tell me. Boycotting social media. What's that gonna do?
It's another stance, isn't it? You know what I mean? I agree.
What's it really? It's not. It's like you're not picking out the people. Like the noise are in. Like it's in the stadiums and it's in people's teams. Like okay, you might not be. The team might not be on social media or whatnot. But the rebels and that are still out there on social media. So what's that going to do? Your team might not be on social media. Players might not be. But the rebels that are on social media, they're still out there DMing people nonsense and all these things. So I don't see how that's going to work.
Yeah,
I think it's just an experiment to see like they're trying to make a change.
I'm tired of all these experiments. If you're not going to ban, you know what? The same energy they're putting in the Super League. If you're not going to ban players from playing, if someone's racist now, if you're not going to ban them, you know what? You're not playing for your country for the next year or next 2 years or something. Then don't do it. I don't want to hear none of these experiments on social media. And the same energy you're putting into the Super League where you're going to ban players from playing for the country in the World Cup and certain leagues and that, have the same energy for the players that are being racist.
It's true. It's all flirting. They're just flirting with tackling it. They're just flirting. You're not really doing anything conducive. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not for it. But have you guys experienced racism in football?
Yeah. I've experienced racism in football. I was playing for Leyton Orient at the time and we had a game against Telford in the FA Cup. And I was warming up to come on and they commented on my lips saying that it's big, which I'm happy about because there's a few females that like my big lips. Yeah.
This guy is on fire. Mate, you gotta give James his flowers, bro. You gotta give him his flowers. He's hot, man. He's hot. He's hot. It's the goals, isn't it? It's the goals you're scoring, isn't it? It's definitely the goals he's scoring, bro.
No, but
He's
yeah.
on flame.
Listen, I was warming up and then a fan was talking about my lips. Obviously, one of the other team's fans. And then he called me a monkey. And at that moment in time, I didn't really know how to take it because it was like the first instance of me getting like racial abuse. I obviously knew that a lot of people get racially abused and whatnot. But for me to experience it, it was weird to me. I didn't know how to react. Should I be angry? Should I be just laugh it off? To the point where Resty saw my manager at the time, Justin Edinburgh, he heard it. And he pulled me after the game and said, "Are you all right? What do you want to do about it?" And my initial reaction, because it's normal to me, like I said at the beginning of this episode, I was like, "It's calm. Let's just focus on the next game, whatever." And we won that game. And he's like, "No, we can't just stand for this. Like, we have to say something." So obviously, Justin Edinburgh went spoke to the like authorities, police and that, and had to go to court for it. And
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow.
But this was through like Zoom because obviously COVID happened.
Yeah.
And I had to go to court for it and talk about what happened. And I think what happened to him, he's banned from going to Telford football games. So yeah, that was my experience from it. I would like to say I felt a type of way and I felt pissed off and angry and whatnot. But like I said to you, to me, it's normality. So it's like I'm just numb to it and I shouldn't be. But this is why we're having this conversation, because it shouldn't be normal to just be racist.
Yeah, I agree. I've experienced it as well. A few years back, we were playing in the cup game and losing. The ball's gone off the pitch and the fans grabbed the ball. And now we're losing. I'm like, give us the ball. Like, getting the ball off the fan. And the fan's gone, F off you, black, this, that, do you know what I mean? And I took a mental note, you know what I mean? And I was a bit a bit wild when I was younger. So I took a mental note, and as soon as the final whistle went, like, I've just ran, and everyone's thinking, where are you running to? And I've just ran towards that fan, like trying to jump over, you know what I mean, trying to go for him, and everyone's holding me back, you know what I mean. And it's not a nice feeling to get racially abused. It's not a nice feeling at all. There's no need for people to take it there. You get what I'm saying? And now I didn't retaliate the right way. I'll hold accountability for that, but it was such a shock to me. And like I said, I was younger. It was kind of like a defensive mechanism, the only way I know how to deal with something like that. You know what I mean? Another experience, yeah, is just like, well, I moved up north, and I realized the way that I'm not gonna survive up north that way. So I was myself for the first year. I was myself, being myself, playing football, doing well in football, whatever. But I don't think they took to my character. Do you get what I'm trying to say? My personality. You know what I mean? And I got transfer listed. And obviously I've come back and I've managed to get myself off the transfer list. But also, I kind of made and this is one thing this is one of the only regrets I have in my career. I kind of made a conscious decision to water down my character, my personality, just to survive. And I regret it. Like, it eats me up till today, because why should I have to do that just to cut through? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's mad.
And I did that, and it worked out. Like, I played that year, you know what I mean? But I shouldn't have had to do that, you know what I mean? And then now I look at people like Raheem Sterling. Like, that's the king for me, because someone like him is unapologetically black. You got what I'm saying? He's himself. He's took the bullets. He's took the
In the press every
scrutiny.
week.
He's took it. Yeah, he's took it, and he's still on top. You can't break him. He's gonna be unapologetically black, and he's letting man know. You got what I'm saying? So I feel like me doing that was like, it was 6 months of that was like, nah. And but I did learn quickly that it's not the way to be. And what helped was that a mate, a good friend that I'm friends with now, joined the club, and he made me realize, no, you ain't got to be this way. So then I went back to being myself. You know what I mean? But also the time I did decide to water down my thing was, a lot of players were getting the boot out the club. You know what I mean? And I thought, ooh, I don't want to get the boot. You know what I mean? I don't want to
But you got a bit scared.
Yeah. So I thought, ooh, I've got to kind of, you know what I'm saying? But I feel I didn't need to do that. You know what I'm saying? But even so, I was still, don't ever get it twisted. It wasn't like I became all of a, oh yeah, what's happening, mate? You all right? I didn't become that. I just mellowed down a bit. Did
Did you feel comfortable when you tried to be like the rest?
I didn't feel comfortable, and what it wasn't me trying to behave a certain way. It was just me keeping my mouth shut, like in and around football, in the environment. You know what I mean? We'll be at a table, we'll be talking. I can't relate to what these guys are talking about. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But I'll just be at the table. Little things like, I would consciously, like, I wasn't doing anything character-wise. That I was still zero tolerance for racism. Let's just get that out. Zero tolerance for racism. But I knew that little things like, I'll be at the lunch and I'll think, I don't want people talking rubbish. Let me sit with these people today. You know what I mean?
Fit in.
Yeah. So I was trying to, but it wasn't me. It wasn't me. You know what I'm saying? And that's what football can almost make you become. You know what I mean? And you see a lot of players going through it. I read something the other day about Sean Wright Phillips, Ashley Cole, Jermaine Defoe. They got racially abused, and in England
Camp, yeah.
about 10 years ago, and the England PR told them, not to say nothing. So they forever held their peace. And 2021, fast forward 10, 11 years later, they finally wanted to come and speak about it. What's your thoughts on that?
Why though? Why though? Because the BLM movement. This is what I don't get. Like, bro, them coming out, speaking out, yeah, like, I'm all for it. But, bro, when it happens, speak out. Because that's them little things there. Subconsciously, you won't think that, but that's just thinking, yeah, they've accepted it, kind of thing. So then it keeps them thinking, yeah, we can do it all the time. 10 years.
10 years, bro.
10 years.
10 years.
And now you want to speak out because of the movement. There's a big movement. Yeah, trying to, man. For me personally, I rate them for coming out now. But once it's done, say it. Say it.
I feel like you can't blame them. I'm going to tell you that because look at what you said.
You don't want to, wait, when you say that, because you're thinking they won't get a call up to the England squad again.
No, but look at what Femi said. Femi said he dumbed down how he normally is to fit in. So you got to think of 10 years ago, they don't have the knowledge that we have now. They're not old like they are now. And at that period in time, that's what they know. They don't have the knowledge to now speak out. They don't have the confidence to now say, listen, I'm black. You lot can't chat shit. Allow it.
I heard that.
I hear you, but
I heard that.
With I think it's different scenarios. With me, I was still zero tolerance for racism. That's the thing. They actually got racially abused, and they didn't say nothing. You got what I'm trying to say? And I feel like that's why we're in 2021 still fighting this fight, because nothing was said back then. Do you get what I'm saying?
And I feel like if they would have put their foot down then, Ashley Cole, one of them, said, I'm not playing for England no more, at least us lot who was younger at the time will understand the situation, said, my man didn't play for England because this is what happened, and we will rate that because it didn't take that for answer. You get me? Like,
it boils down to knowledge as well. These are young black people playing for England and probably thinking football. I need to make sure I stay in this England setup where I can get good contracts and good money. So me coming out and talking about the racism abuse, I could not play for England again. And that comes down to knowledge. You don't know about your inheritance. You don't know about your history, about being black. So that's why I say is, for me, it boils down to knowledge.
I just feel like people don't care about it enough. And
because they don't know a lot about it.
Yeah, but listen, we know we're black, and we know the color of our skin, and we know the battles that we faced to get to where we're at, right? We know that. It's not a secret, James. We know. All right, let me ask you this. Do you feel like you've had to work twice as hard to get to where you're at?
100%.
Okay, so if you're aware of that, yeah, and people are racially abusing you in the midst of all of that, what you've had to go through, and now you're at the top, why would you stand for it?
But you need to understand that the position they're in. I'm coming from nothing, bro. These lot are in an England setup playing for England national team.
I hear you. But then again, remember, that's at their highest point. Remember, he's still.
So, but my thing is, when they're playing for England, they're not thinking, listen, I'm at my highest point. So if I'm playing for England, why do I need to talk about the racism that's coming out?
He's in a position. He's in a position for all the other black kids.
If they have nothing, they can come out and say, listen, nah, this is. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
No,
like you just said, you see?
That's why I go back to Sterling.
Yeah.
That's why I go back to Sterling, because Sterling had everything.
But this
He
is
has everything.
Yeah, but this is what I'm trying to say.
And he still didn't have it, bro.
Educated, bro.
He still didn't have it.
So
even away from football. Look at Stormzy. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Look at Stormzy.
Yeah,
he's got everything to lose. But
what I'm saying, these men are educated. The Sean Wright Phillips and the people that kept quiet, I don't want to disrespect them, but they didn't know their history then. For you to keep quiet, you don't know what being black means then.
Do you feel like they should have just forever held their peace? So you think they should have brought it out now?
Should have brought it out. They should have brought it out back then. But my thing is, I'm saying they wasn't educated.
What good is it doing bringing it out now, though?
Nothing. It's not doing nothing now.
Exactly.
Nothing now. It's going to leave people to just say, it's going to leave even white people to say, it's clout. You're just doing it for clout.
Because yeah, it's kind of left a bitter taste in my mouth, if I'm being honest. Yeah, you get what I'm saying?
10 years ago, Ashley Cole was still probably still one of the best left backs in the Prem. Like, whatever you say, you're going to be heard, bro. And people will say, bro, I stand with Ashley Cole. If he's not playing, if he's not going to be in the England setup, I know why, but I stand with him. That's unacceptable. But for you to keep quiet, that means, like you said, you didn't care at that time. Someone telling you to keep quiet when you're being racially abused, you think, I will keep quiet. Even if I'm playing for England now, like, oh, I might lose my... No, I don't care if I lose my England place. I'm going to speak out because the younger lot need to know what's going on in and around this place.
But it's what I'm trying to say. I'm saying that you've got the knowledge. You've been brought up in a way where being black, you should be proud of being black.
He's
Them man, I don't think they were being taught that being black is one of the best things ever.
I'm sure when they went to school, and I'm sure they've been in situations where...
All right.
No.
Let's not even make it about those three, because there's a lot of players now that are now... Listen, this fight has been going on forever, innit? So there's a lot of players that when they were playing, they were just playing, but now they've retired. You know what I mean? This is. They now want to start talking about and fighting this fight with us. What would you say to them about why wasn't you fighting the fight when we were playing, when we needed you?
What do you mean? Like, why wasn't they fighting?
So a lot of people now are coming up with it. Now they're retired. Now it's safe for them to speak on this topic. You know what I'm saying? But when they were playing, why weren't they fighting this fight?
I might take this context, but I don't know whoever it was. There's a lot of people that's coming out. Is it because from their situation they had a white girlfriend, a white wife? That's why if they speak out on them things there, it could be quite techie. Their wife or that side of the family member, like, probably saying, I don't think you should speak on it. I don't know, but that's how I look at it.
Football's full of fashion, man. When one person comes out and speaks about something, it gives someone else the confidence to now come and speak about something.
It's crazy. And you even said that you've had to work twice as hard, to get to where you're at. So if you wasn't black, if you was another colour, would you say you will be further where you're at in your career?
I would like to say yeah, but I wouldn't even want to think of myself being like white and saying, no, listen, if I was white.
All right, so if there was no, let me word it different. If there was no stigma on racism, it was just a fair equality world that we're living in, yeah? Would you be further when you're in your career?
Believe so, but I don't like making excuses, innit? That's just how I am as a person. I can easily say, listen, if I was this and I was that, and there's equality, I feel like, forget the career, I'm still going to be a great. So forget the career and whatever's going to happen. Regardless of what's happening, I'm black. And because I'm black, I still think I'm going to reach even more. So.
What about you, man?
No, it's like, I'm with James. It's kind of hard to say, but at the same time, you lot know my football journey and what I've been through. If I was white, that career would have went that way. I've had my own issues like where I thought I could have done better. Like everyone knows they could have done better. I could have done better during my football career or whatnot. But that same journey for as a white kid growing up and I had all them things that was happening around me, I'm pretty sure that journey would have went that way. Would have like rocketed. I'm not gonna lie.
You mentioned you said one time that the season you had a when I was playing with you, Med, you had a smashing season. How many goals and assists did you get?
It was I think it was 8 goals and 11 assists. 8 goals and 11 assists.
So do you feel that if you was white, then
100%. I've seen it happen to like my peers. I've seen it happen to people I know. Like it's you know the funny thing is it's not like they hide it. It's just there. Like I've seen it happen to Uche. I can't remember what there was a striker at Yeovil. He done his thing. I think he got a champ move, but Uche scored like 15 goals and he had like 8 assists or something. And the other guy scored like 5 goals and I can't remember. Like he got the champ move. And I'm not saying that's how it's always gonna be, but they don't hide it. Like it's there. And you've come across Uche. You know how strong, powerful, big he is, and he's a good striker. But it's just there in our faces. But what can we do about it?
no, I hear you. I feel like we're in a time now where a lot of the young black players are flourishing. So in terms of that, I feel like the door has been broken down. You know, so at first it was a lot of questions, but now we're in a time where, all right, cool, regardless of skin color, you can make it. You know what I mean? And you'll get that opportunity. I just feel like now there's a bigger fight to fight for. You know what I mean? Equality. You know what I'm saying? And even upstairs. So what I mean by that is in terms of in the boardroom, managers, directors. You know what I mean? There's not enough of us. What's your lot's thoughts on that?
Yeah, there isn't a lot of us. I'll just keep on saying this, but it's like it's the norm.
Don't accept it just being the norm, though, bro.
Let me.
Like you can't just say it's the norm. Like why?
norm, bro.
Why should that be the norm?
But managers are not coming out and trying to be managers because they know they're not gonna get accepted.
But they're trying.
Managers are not trying to be managers, bro.
Black men are trying to be managers, bro. You look at Sol Campbell. You look at Andy Cole. Why is
Prime example,
why is
like
Andy
you said.
Cole, why is Andy Cole, he was striker coach at Macclesfield. That's big Andy Cole that's won the treble.
Prime example, like you said again, Sol Campbell. Why do them not have to start at the bottom of the food chain for them to even get a chance? Where other managers that they've played alongside and all these things, they get champ moves straight away. If they go into management, champ move.
Big jobs.
After the champ move, prem move.
Big
When
jobs.
when black players that have played for big teams like the Arsenals, the Man Uniteds, the Liverpools and all these things, they don't get that. Like Big Darren Moore, who like still till this day, I don't understand. He was doing a great job for West Brom.
Got sacked.
And he got sacked for what?
It's crazy. You know what I mean? Even go on.
I don't feel like enough's been done to get black managers, black players reaching high level. Obviously, black players were going for a transition now where we're
Flourishing,
flourishing. But in terms of managers, there's not even, forget managers, there's not even enough black people like in the hierarchies, in chief execs, in taking over football clubs.
Like I see one post about Seedorf. Did you see it?
No.
He was talking about a man's won Champions League. He's won all these things.
That's why he's won the most Champions Leagues.
Bro, he said he's struggling to get a job. Big Seedorf.
It's crazy.
Clarence.
It's crazy. Even less further than that, he's the technical director
At where?
at QPR.
Oh, is it? Oh, is it? Yeah.
Yeah, I walked right into it. But yeah, when I was listening to something he said a couple years ago, and he was like, I know that I cannot mess up this position because I know that I'm the only black man in this role, so I can't afford to mess up. Why do we have to feel like that? Like, we shouldn't have to feel like that. You know what I mean? Like, we can't mess up because
I feel like we're the minority in this game you call football. We're actually the minority.
yeah, but there are people that want to do this. Like, for example, there's so many examples. You look at the Tottenham now. They got rid of Mourinho. Yeah, he was Mourinho's assistant. He was on the team. Ledley King. Who got the job?
Ryan Mason. But this is what I'm trying to say. The
How
owners,
old is Ryan Mason?
Yeah, I know, but the
Ryan
owners
Mason's 29,
and
you know.
rulers of this game, the owners and the rulers of this game, they're white.
Ryan Mason's 29, bro.
Yeah, bro.
And that doesn't mean he's not good enough for the job. But I'm just thinking, rah.
Big Ledley, you know.
Big Ledley King.
He didn't have to train and he'll come and play and do a
Big
madness.
Ledley King.
It's crazy to me.
But this is what I'm trying to say. The bosses of the game, they're white. Like, football, for me, football's not a black man's sport. You talk about NBA now, talk about American football, yeah. You see the brothers there. See football. For me, it's a white man's sport. The rulers, the people at the top, they're white.
Nah, I feel like we need to show that we are more than just what do you call it? We're more than just something you can just put on the pitch and run around and score goals or
see us as.
defend. We got more to us.
100% we got more to us.
No, we got people up there, but there's not enough of us that's managers, coaches,
Chief
even,
execs.
board members.
Yeah.
But there's people with money out there. But I'm just saying, they don't allow people like that to come and sit around the table because they'll look at you and think, what can you actually bring? Even if you got the 6 billion, the 25 billion, they'll look at an African guy, wealthy guy, or just a black guy who's wealthy. Look at that. What can you actually do for the football club? They like dismiss you without even listening to you. You don't see them sitting around the table up there.
It's true. But the worst thing about it is that we know how to get through to a younger player. Does that make sense? Like, especially one we've walked the same walk that they have. We've done the same journey. So wouldn't you think it makes sense to bring someone in that can relate to like a younger player?
But they don't look at us like that. They look at us like, you come on the pitch, just run around, do your thing. That's it. They don't look at us that we've got more things to offer than just coming on the pitch and doing our thing. And that's what's crazy about it is we will come on the pitch, do our thing, and off the pitch, we can do our thing just as good.
We can.
But they don't look at that.
Bro, it's crazy. Even going back on the Ledley King thing. So one of my little bros, he's at Tottenham as well, and he's pushing for the first team, pushing for it, and he's got a close relationship with Ledley King, but that's someone that he looks up to now. You know what I mean? Now, Ledley King will probably get the best out of him. You know what I mean? If he was to break through the first team now, a Ledley King will be the one that will maximize his potential, whereas per se, a Ryan Mason may not. You know what I mean? It may not do it. So there needs to be more of us in those positions. Do you know what I mean? Especially now that we're all flourishing. We're flourishing and we're getting opportunities. You know what I'm saying? And even like other ethnicities, like Asians, you know what I mean? Why isn't there enough of them in football? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I remember,
they're not trying to play football. They're trying to play football.
Sorry to cut you off, I remember one time, yeah. I'm gonna say this back in the days. We was in an England camp, innit? So it was funny though. It used to be mad. Like,
Where was you at? Hey, the big England
it
plate.
was in the
Yeah.
England cap, yeah. And you see what you said, like, you had to sit with certain people when you went up north. Like, that's how it was. And it's just, you go towards people you gravitate to. So I used to come down for dinner, or we used to come down for breakfast, lunch, and there'll be like the Reeds, like Henry Lansby, and all them like bare people. And then the Danny Welbeck, Nana, Victor Moses, but you won't just go and see the Reedy and that and go and sit on a white table. You get what I'm trying to say? And then, but it's like the coaches always used to come to our table and say, why is not mixing? But before we come down, them already got their table. And listen, it's not racism, it's not what, our banter is not the same. Obviously, there's one or three like white people you can banter with, like they know your banter.
You lot have come from like the same type of background.
Background,
so you
yeah.
gravitate towards each other more.
That's it.
And I said that before, like, you could sit on a table with 4 or 5 black players and you're going to be deemed as being racist. But then there's a table across the room with 5 white players. You're not going to look at them and say, they're racist. But us sitting on the table with 4 black players, but we're only sitting on the table with each other because we can relate. We can have the same conversation. Not because we want to keep ourselves away. And if a white person comes and sit on the table, we'll welcome them.
We got loads of white friends.
Fem.
Bro, Billy Bingham.
Yeah?
What a legend.
I remember
Billy
something happened.
Bingham. Hey, Billy Bingham, I love you, bro.
I love you too,
Billy
Bingham. That's my dog. I was gonna say something. You see that, fam, we're coming down last, yeah, sometimes. But they wouldn't even think Reedy, like Henry and them that sit there, Tom Harvey or
Who's Reedy?
One youth that used to play for Nottingham Forest, like those bears, like just the names I can't even figure. And then you'll be like some of them there. So that when we come down, when the black youths come down, some can go over there, some can go. But as soon as we come down, they're already there. I remember we was play fighting, and shout out Henry Lansby, like. So we was play fighting. It was like blacks v whites, like we're just messing about in that. And Henry, I think, so it happened, we grabbed Henry, but it hit his toe, and I think we had a game the next day, or 2 days. It hit his toe, and I think it hit his toe. And then I remember it was the Tottenham coach at the time, I forgot his name, big guy. What the fuck you lot doing? What happened? But it's saying it in a meeting, like he wants my man to snitch, innit? He wants Henry to snitch. But Henry's not snitching. It's like, nothing. I remember No Blake come up to us, yeah? He got all the black players in the room. He come up to us, he sat us down in the room. Said, you lot need to be careful. I remember this like yesterday. Said, them lot are already out to get you. They're already out to get you. Just be careful. When you come, be careful, know how to act. And don't give them too much. Because they're already out to get you. He said, he's just giving us the heads up. This is what it is. Like, Noel Blake said that, sat us down in a room and told us that.
That's crazy. So he already knows. You know what I mean? You're a young age hearing that. How did that make you even feel, bro?
Bro, see, at a young age, you're just thinking, it is what it is, isn't it? Like, I didn't really take it in like that until when you get older. Now, when I'm telling you, man, now, and I deep it now. You get me? But at that time, it was like, okay, we're still 18, 17 at the time, you get me? Okay, that's what it is then. But we didn't take it. It's only now that I'm older that I'm deep in it.
Wow, that's mad. I can't lie. Wow.
I see it with the flashing his hands out there. Flashing his hands out there. I don't know what that meant.
Nah, it's crazy. Like, listen, with the racism thing, it's a touchy subject.
Last thing before we move on from this topic. What would you like to see done to tackle like racism then? What would you want to see?
I would like to see, me personally, see what they're doing about the whole thing when they thought the Super League was gonna go on.
Same energy.
The same energy, the same banning players from playing in the World Cup and European Championships. 250 grand fine, 300, because that's what's gonna hurt them. You see what, when you're not taking money out of no one's pocket really when you're giving someone a 10-match ban and all these things. That's like, oh, light work, 3-match ban, oh, light work. You get me? That's not real. When they start hearing, what is that? What you done? 400 bags, bro. That's when they're gonna say, bro, yeah.
To the actual player, not the club.
Yeah, to the actual players, because yeah, you're taking money from the club at the same time. They're gonna think, bro, this needs to stop now.